One of the things I got to ask you about, there was a tweet today. I don't know. Did you see this? It basically was a gif of a bunch of guys brawling on a street, and somebody put down like Niner Twitter when talking about quarterbacks, and it just showed everybody in this knockdown drag out brawl. And I'm just kind of wondering, why do you think that is? I mean, the Niners have Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, and they're both great linebackers, and Aziz Al Shair, who I also think is a great linebacker, and only two of them can play. And a lot of times, Al Shair is on the sideline, but you don't have people brawling and picking sides over Warner versus Greenlaw versus Al Shair. They're just like, go Niners, and whoever's out there, that's our guy. But when it comes time for a quarterback, it's like, and this one kills me because I was telling people in May that I believed in Brock Purdy. Everybody knows that I'm pro Brock Purdy. But just because I'm pro Brock Purdy doesn't mean I'm anti Trey Lance. I actually really like Trey Lance, and I'm really convinced that Trey Lance is going to be a very good NFL quarterback in time.
Mhm.
So I just don't understand where it's like, are you a Purdy guy? Are you a Lance guy? Are you a Jimmy guy? Why do we do this? Why do we cannibalize as a fan base over the quarterback position when they're all here and there's no indication that any of them aren't going to be here? I mean, obviously Jimmy's not going to be here, but is there? What do you make of the whole picking sides with the quarterback? Like, you couldn't possibly like both. Where I mean, I don't find them polarizing at all. I think they're both really solid human beings who are complementary of one another, different skill sets, different type players, but really solid kinds of guys. They're both the kind of guy you'd want your daughter to marry. I mean, they're really solid on the scale of like good guys, bad guys. These guys are at the very top of the list. It's not like you got one guy who's a bad guy and the other guy's a good. They're both good guys. I mean, they're both great guys. I really believe that. Why so much? I'm a Trey guy. I'm a Brock guy. Why can't people just be like, I'm a Niner guy and let's see how it goes? Is there any reason for it?
I think the reason is it's where it's different from, like you said with Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, that kind of thing. It's different because only one can be on the field. It's either Trey Lance is on the field or Brock Purdy. They can't both be on the field at the same time, at least yet, right? And I don't know. This whole thing it's wild to me. If you're anything negative on Trey Lance, there's a large group of 49ers Twitterverse that you can't even have a conversation where you have anything negative about Trey Lance or you mention Trey Lance. You can't even really talk positively about Brock Purdy and without having that pro Trey side get all upset about it. Look at what happened with the Matt Barrows article on the Athletic from just
about
last week.
About the what was it, the processing speed or that kind of thing?
Yeah, and that's a situation where I think what happened is people missed the point of the article. It's like, well, he wasn't fair to Trey Lance. He wasn't fair to Trey. I mean, was there anybody who actually follows the 49ers who doesn't understand that one of the main reasons that Trey Lance was thought so highly of was that he's an intelligent person, that he processes the game at a very high level. The need for a certain segment of the fan base to constantly defend him is partly, I think, why you see this, and that goes back to that comment you just put up a minute ago from Bomber. There's a group that really needs to defend this guy because they feel, again, it goes back to they feel like he's been treated unfairly. And I think when you look at it from a Twitter standpoint, there's wild factions on both. And for me, what I've been trying to do is just ignore both of the extremes. I tend to have more friends on the extreme Trey positive side than I do on the negative side. But, and I think because of my pushback on them, people think that I'm anti Trey Lance. I actually had somebody say that about my channel on a comment the other day.
It's wild.
And it was all about the title that I used. And my response to him was, that's the title. If you watch the video, if you watch the segment where, because I had, it was with Wayne, who you just had on yesterday. I was like, if you go and you watch the video, neither one of us watch the video, and it's the title's the title. And the title was built off of something that John Lynch said. And so then we both gave our takes, and well, quite frankly, it was different than what the title was. And so sometimes people just see a snippet, and instead of taking the time to really, the biggest thing is people have the inability or the lack of desire to understand the other side. I think that's the biggest thing.
It's weird. We're like a highlight culture. We're a headline culture. We're an instant reaction culture. But I mean, and maybe neutral doesn't make clicks. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. And like for me, I came out and I read the John Lynch stuff in Indy. His comments is like, I think there's a very good chance they're going to trade Trey. And people are just like, you're rooting for it. I'm not rooting for it. I'm actually deathly afraid of it. Because I really think Trey's going to emerge as a really good player. And I don't know if it's going to be this year. I think it likely is not going to be this year, but I would bet almost anything that Trey Lance is going to be a top tier NFL quarterback before he hangs it up. And that's just where I'll put my evaluation.